Hello there, GM Lurch Lurchington here with another episode of Star Wars Showdown at Iceball Station. We can roll, and then we'll bring you guys up to getting ready to launch your mission or whatever. Xavix, do you have business that you want to do at the club before you head out, or
Nope.
are you cool with going right down?
Totally good.
Okay.
Sweet.
Oh wait, am I all? What am I decked out in, by the way?
Whatever you want. That's what I'm saying. Is that
Oh,
we
yeah.
can
Let me,
follow
let me
you
go
down
ahead
to
and
Zeef's. You know
put
what
my
I
armor
mean?
back on if I didn't have it on already.
Because you didn't know about the attack in the morning, but I'm sure Zeef, called and left a message. So
Yeah.
you were planning on heading up and continuing your business at the factory, but N4 has a message for you from Zeef that the boys were back in town, but they had handled things down in his place, and asked you to meet, over there when you can. You throw your armor on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I throw my armor on and prepare myself a little bit because I know what that kind of means.
Yeah, eat a hearty breakfast. Make sure any and all gear that you're gonna want for. Zeef says he's rounding up the posse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have all my grenades, all that kind of stuff.
Right,
with me
you get all that stuff ready exactly,
and then I'll go ahead and head out.
Head out down. All right. It's not far. You could hail a speeder, and you had been normally, but after the walk back last night, ended up being actually more pleasant, than unpleasant, except for having to stroll past a few stormtroopers. You could easily just walk over to Zeef's.
It may look like I'm off to go do something.
Oh, that's also true. That is also true.
I'll keep a low profile.
I think I can require one of the.
You're going to take a speeder instead? That's fine, and they are available. I hadn't considered that. That's why you're the Jedi Master, and I'm the GM. So you have one of the droid-piloted speeders take you down to Zeef. You see that Zeef is out on the front porch with a crowd of about a dozen Aqualash who are all standing around. Most of them appear to have long, hooked longshoreman's poles, and several of them are wearing blaster pistol belts. And Zeef is out there on the porch telling them, we're not ready to get going yet, but Misa thanking you all for coming round so early.
Independence Day speech.
You told the, brothers-in-law of the widow whose husband's death had kicked off your investigation into this whole fiasco. That you would appreciate their assistance in wrapping the matter up. And they said they would be back after everyone had rested up after standing watch for a couple of nights at your place. And bright and early this morning, you'd found a dozen of these gentlemen all waiting out in the street in front of your place. A couple of stormtroopers are standing around, just down the block. There's only a few of them that are still lightly patrolling the town after their speeder returned from its trip out into the bay over the ice yesterday. But you don't have any intelligence about, what they found. But actually, Dylon said something about you sicking the cops on them when he was trying to kick your door in last night. So they at least buzzed the lab, but maybe didn't make any moves at the time. So these guys were waiting, but you're not ready to roll out quite yet.
Right.
And you find that Xavix has shown up. So,
Master Silverstar.
Greetings.
Go.
Thanking you for coming down. We're gonna need all the help we can get on this one.
Yeah. What's the next move?
We can narrow down the suspects. There's only one remaining, and he's in a drug lab just off of the coast underwater. Getting together a couple good law-abiding citizens here, and we're gonna go take care of this once and for all.
Have you evacuated the area?
It should be pretty safe. The drug lab is in a clandestine location. It's actually underneath the bay in a pretty remote location, so civilians should all be nice and up on the land safely at least.
All right. Well, I'm ready to leave when you are.
Sounds good. We just need to stop into town, get a couple supplies on the way.
Zeef, was there any preparation that you did ahead of time this morning that you might want to make any, checks about?
Well, he did
case files or anything.
He did deal with the bodies of Dylon and Gil this morning. He took like little tissue samples or what have you to get the genetic information to input their chain codes into the HoloNet to track and see if they had any active warrants or bounties that he could cash in on. So I guess he could pull out his data pad and check up on the status of that since it's been a few hours now.
So let's have you and Worram make a check for getting that lab work done this morning.
Okay.
All right. To take the sample, because you incinerated the bodies of Dylon and Gil.
Well, I tried to, but I failed. So yes. they're cooked. So, right,
you did not. Yeah, they're cooked, but they're not completely eradicated. But it's not exactly as simple as running, a hand over, a fingerprint scanner or putting a face into a scanner. I guess
right. No,
that's how they do it. Right.
You have to extract some material and upload
need a medicine check. Okay. Which is why Worram should probably be helping you out. Actually,
I only have 2 Gs for medicine, so yeah.
Right. So.
All right, I'll give you a boost and you do the check.
Absolutely, yeah. So because they were cooked.
Peel off a piece of crisp
meat. I was thinking he would sort of like reverse tricorder it, where you just sort of take a little sample out.
Yeah.
Upload that to a data pad.
That's what making the medicine check does, exactly.
Right.
So yeah, and it's just that instead of just holding his face into the thing, now they're kind of crisp. You at least have it's not as difficult as identifying the Larses would have been, but you're on your way there. If you'd succeeded, it would have been an Owen and Brew situation. So the difficulty is going to be hard, but it's not approaching, impossible. It's just hard. They were cooked, but not successfully. They've been out in the cold overnight, and there are going to be 2 setbacks from that to it.
And a boost from Zeef.
And a boost from Zeef. Exactly. So, with a lot of advantage, you are able to access some scannable tissue underneath the charred outer layers of your former friend. And enter that information into a medical database which produces a chain code, which you're able to painstakingly punch in to your outer rim security database terminal. Sends the information via HoloNet uplink. You see that both of your friends are now legitimately, they served their time on Nar Shaddaa. And they haven't actually been out yet long enough to accrue new charges, as it were.
All right.
In the time,
All right, so it was just murder.
They really only just came back. Yeah. So, yeah,
good to know.
You are able to but you are able to put in you've
I can update the Marshall system the way Cara Dune did and be like, deceased.
You've accumulated a lot of information about this case and stuff, you know what I mean? So you can update their files and, start putting in your casework, and whatnot. If that's the thing you actually want to do and do this processing down that route. Not a bounty hunter, but a marshal, you know what I mean?
Sure, Zeef does the paperwork.
It's a different kind of paperwork, exactly. So Zeef spent the morning doing the paperwork, and because of the information you have and their, involvement in this Carcaro Brothers scheme and all that, you've acquired this information. They were in violation of parole and stuff like that, so there would be a bounty associated with that kind of information. However, bounty doesn't need to be issued because you've already resolved exactly the situation, and 350 credits make their way down the pipe into your account.
Sweet.
Zeef. So
Cha-ching!
Exactly. You know, do work, get paid, right? Isn't that how this is your job is supposed to work?
Well, in this
The
case, it
wheels
was
of-
get jumped, burn a guy, get paid, but
Well,
same
you know what I mean?
principles.
But right? But that was part of
Yeah, burn
doing job. You know what I mean?
No, it was
Like,
occupational. Occupational
right, well,
burning of a guy.
exactly, occupational getting jumped. Like
It happens, man, when you're the marshal.
exactly. So, you spent the morning doing your paperwork, and through Worm's assistance, you were able to get paid.
Thank you, Worm.
I don't know what kind of a cut he gets out of that, but
He gets 100 credits out of the 350.
I saw his hand moving towards that mic switch. Let's say. So, yeah, the Jedi has arrived, and you head into town with the posse. There are still a few stormtroopers standing around sort of town square. You don't have any kind of badge of office or anything like that. So you're approaching where the gun shop and the healer are there in the lower town as you would then loop down towards the docks. You see, two of these stormtroopers sort of move together to speak, and then one of them starts heading up the hill towards the expat club, as the other one, is talking into his earpiece as you arrive there in town square with your posse. It's early, but as the sort of armorer there at the gun shop, who's getting ready to open, sees you at the front window, he comes to the front door and says, "Is something going on, Marshal?"
Nothing to worry about. Here to do a little shopping.
It's a bit early. Maybe just you and Mr. Fancy Pants. Come on in, sir. He opens the door for you and Silver Star.
Silver Star, the big spender. He's been here before.
To enter in. Yeah, exactly. As you slip in and then allow your coat to open, showing your armor again, he says, "Looks like you two are here to do a little business. Worram and your droid came by the other day. Said you needed to stock up on some grenades, other than what your friend here purchased. So I looked around in back to see what I might have. Your droid asked about an installation he wanted to do over at the Droid Works. I thought I might want to talk to you in person before I okay that." Stomper's looking for a little order.
Did he now?
Stomper gonks at you. Gonk, gonk. From next to you.
Zeef looks down at Stomper and says, "You're a presumptuous little shit, aren't you? All right, let's get you your gear." Fully on board with him, but you didn't ask me any of that, Stomper.
He rocks back and forth, bouncing on his feet, gonk, 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 and heads towards the back. He says, "All right, well."
I roll my eyes at Stomper and then turn to the shopkeeper and slap down some credits and say, "Just make it happen."
"Thank you, Marshal. Much obliged." He brings the droid back to the rear of the shop. If there's anything that you're looking for to outfit yourself with here, he's going to let you poke around at the front. And when it's all done, he'll let you know what he's expecting you to actually pay for, kind of thing. Is there anything you're particularly looking for?
Not that I don't already have, at least somewhat.
Right.
I can't really think of anything drastic that I need right now.
All right, you're full up on grenades. Worram used a grenade.
I used one of my grenades.
Some grenades last night, So.
That's right, we looted some way better grenades anyway, so...
Yes.
That's
so,
right.
yeah, exactly. I didn't know...
Yeah, no, I don't think I need anything.
Okay, but you know what I mean? If you're going to go and fight and know you're heading into it, and there's a shop...
Zeef leans near the front door of the shop, indicating that he's not going to go further in while he waits for Stomper.
So how were we going to do it? Was it going to be a micro rocket?
It was fully inside of him, and a panel opens up and he fires out of it.
So I don't know if it was going to be the pistol, because he can just hold a rocket launcher pistol.
We lost
use
Xavix.
a rocket launcher pistol, and it can be flavored as being inside him, or we can actually like build it as being like a cybernetic, attachment.
Whatever's simpler. If we could just flavor a pistol that way, that works for me.
Right, I'm saying it's way cheaper to just buy a pistol and not actually do it as, like an integrated cybernetic device or whatever.
I
like a player character.
Don't think cost is necessarily an option. I'm looking at the tracking sheet. I think I've got a bit of credits. Let's see here.
I mean, it's 500 just for the pistol.
I have okay. I have 1065 right now.
Okay, that's what because that's. Dan, do you remember how we had talked about possibly doing it on the last shopping trip?
I'll just go with whatever's the cheapest option, I guess.
The cheapest is definitely just buying the rocket pistol. You know what I mean? And then he's like, it's just holding it internally, kind of, instead of actually.
Yeah. Like whatever takes the fewest steps to get it installed in him.
Also, okay, what I mean?
then let's go with that.
Like a gear attachment that puts it on your armor, and then it's a hands-free thing, so that your guy,
it doesn't need to be fancy. It can
right. Like
it'll work.
You can build Mayfield's fucking contraption where you have a free droid arm that holds a gun for you,
Mm-hmm.
or you can just fucking have another gun and draw it with your other hand, kind of thing. So like, it's the level of like. How integrated into the droid do we actually want to mechanically have it be? Or no, okay, so yeah, if he's just holding a rocket pistol, it is 500 credits, and then he's going to throw in some rockets, rolled into that, because you're the marshal. And
how many rockets?
Like, they've been waiting. Well, so there's a selection. There are anti-armor, explosive, flechette, incendiary, and ion rockets.
Whichever one Stomper said he wanted last time he was in here.
I can't remember. Probably
I mean, the incendiary or whatever's closest to a regular frag missile.
That would be the flechette. No, that's just explosive. Is frag. That's the one with blast.
Okay, then explosive missile.
Okay, so 4 explosive micro rocket.
Sweet.
So. It's inside, and he's got a panel that opens up. Boom. You know what I mean? Like.
And the ammunition's also inside, self-contained, so he can reload himself. I don't have to add a rocket to him every time.
Correct. Is what it holds 2, and then he has to reload after it fires both, and that costs his maneuver to reload them. And that way, if he has different types, he can also swap out. You know what I mean? So it'll be lightly tracked. But more by his action economy. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how limited ammo. Same as your grenade launcher, where you have to reload it.
Sure.
So, you've got 4 explosive rockets, each the size of your index finger, are lined up on the counter, and Stomper waddles out extremely happy, a jaunty little waddle as he gonks his way out from the back of the shop. And you load the rockets into the panel above where his newly installed weapon system is housed.
There you go, Stomper.
Yeah. He bumps up against your hip affectionately and then gonks around the place a couple of times. He waddles over the war and leans back so that you can see the new panel on his front plate.
What I got, bitch?
I don't approve of this, but I'm not going to say anything.
So, okay, so you don't say anything? You're just like, mm-hmm.
Making droid more lethal is not like, good. We're definitely killing people this time. But...
Right. That's just what a pacifist Athorian wants to hear.
Killing this time.
Right. So,
on full bad now, haven't you?
Stomper gonks, sort of glumly, absent warm approval, and then goes over to show himself off to Xavix as well. Gonk, 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 gonk.
Looking good, Stomper.
Gonk, gonk. He heads back out onto the street. The store owner says, "You taking care of the bucket heads, Marshal?"
Zeef does not answer that question and follows Stomper out to the street.
All right, so you just roll out.
Just roll out, and he's just like, I shoot him a look like, that's a question you know better than to ask the Marshal, and then walks out of the building.
he goes back to, keeping an eye out the window and waiting for the sun to come up a little bit more before actually opening up shop.
Right, because it's still very early.
Exactly.
Right.
The posse is ready to roll out, but they're wondering if this place is at the bottom of the bay. How are they all getting down there? Exactly, boss. Like, we got skimmers that'll take us out there, but then, like, how deep is it? Like, some of us ain't the strongest.
I don't know. Hadn't thought about that at all. So I guess I will swim alone and everyone can wait behind. That sounds like how this is going to go.
Oh, wait. I should probably grab some breathing stuff for underwater stuff.
We'll need more than just breathing stuff because a lot of these swimmers, like the Aqualish, can't swim all the way down there, even with breathing stuff. So we'll need a vehicle of some kind, an underwater vehicle or something.
Okay. Where can we find one of those?
They're semi-aquatic. They just aren't, like... I think Ando is, like, pretty... Aren't there mountain and sea Aqualish or something?
I don't
have the
so.
Wikipedia.
There could be. There very well could be. I don't know a whole lot about Aqualish.
I've read the Wikipedia entry on Ando 1. Yeah, there are like multiple subsets of Aqualish. I'm not 100%.
Do we have a destiny point on our side?
You've got several, and Gil's Gear is another shop where you can head down and try to curry some favor with the town and get.
All right. Well, I would rather just spend the destiny point to say that we have a huge transport bongo just chilling at the docks that I lined up earlier.
Yeah, like a FEMA trailer.
Yeah, we got a big one.
That would make sense.
If it's about 25 people, it's fully submersible.
Destiny point for a bongo.
Yeah.
Destiny point for a bongo. I mean, you're Gungan, right?
Exactly.
You've been here a couple of years. You're like, we bought it in case I would need it, and we never needed it.
You can be a Gungan. You can live on any planet in any biome. You'll still find a guy who can hook you up with a bongo for a good price.
Worram, this is the first time you have ever seen this vehicle or even heard of its existence, and you helped him take that shitty little skimmer out into the middle of nowhere.
Like, where was this the whole time I was fixing up that fucking van?
Zeef puts a hand on Worram's shoulder and says, "Now we need to be very careful because this a company lease." So no scratching up the bongo like the last one, Worram.
And Worram just gives him the most side-eye that and it's a lot of side-eye. Like
Perfect.
Two spaces down the jetty are the crashed remains of the tiny little skimmer that you guys took all the way out to dump that chum into the ocean with the day before last as well. This would have been handy for that too. And we'll end there so that we can head down and do the encounter the next time.
Okay. Let me throw one little moment in there.
Sure, of course.
So Zeef walks up and keys in the button to open up the bongo hatch. It says, "All aboard!"
Unfolds, and the Aqualish come up and they said, "We always wondered what you had in this. It's like a little covered dock down there, just 2 spaces down the jetty from where you kept your little jalopy of a skimmer tied up. I was wondering what you had in here, Marshal."
Everyone always assumed that there was just barrels of spotch gun to that tarp. Nope. Had a little surprise in the wings that I did not know about until 30 seconds ago. But there it is. There's my bongo.
Let's use them destiny points, right?
I mean, we have a bunch of them, you said, so why not?
Go big or go home, absolutely.
I don't have to go haggle with some fucking Quarren about buying another
set of
destiny points. I've got one, exactly.
You're gonna we're set your way down there. All right, so we'll deal with the journey down at the beginning of next session. Then I think
always a bigger fish.
It's always a bigger fish. Always a bigger bongo too.
You've literally been summoning the nastiest critter on the planet, and now you're gonna go down there and drive around. You know what I mean? You're lucky Worram's gonna be making that piloting check.
Well, I mean,
that's why you're like, I want to do a thing, and I was like, I'm gonna make Zeef do a roll, but let's set it up so it's a roll that Worram actually. You know,
I mean,
that's how.
meta, you could twist that around to sound like it's a foolhardy endeavor, but like we want the creature's attention. We want the
No, I
creature to
know
come
you
check
do.
out
It's
these
gonna be
vibrations
great.
going
Yeah,
around.
It'll be great. Yeah.
More fun. No, I'm all for it, but
Mhm.
just like, yeah.
No,
How
definitely.
much attention do you?
But you're right.
This
No,
is-
Warren should
this-
definitely drive
this
because
is
I'm going to
where,
fly it
like,
right into its
everybody
mouth.
says what could possibly go wrong.
No, for sure. You're driving. I'm not driving this thing. You're driving. Because I will drive it right into the mouth of the creature. Like, oh wait, I think we took a wrong turn, like straight into its gullet.
Just
That's-
like Han again. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you always have
Except worth.
another guy to make all of those other checks for you.
Yep.
When we need to succeed and we can't go to plan B, I got this guy.